హలో చిన్నక్క. ఎట్లా అన్నావు?
నేను బాగానే ఉన్నాను. ఇక్కడ నాతో పాటు నందు కూడా ఉంది.
మంచిది మంచిది.
ఇంకా మొదలే ఉంది కదా?
ఇప్పుడే బిగిన్ చేశాను, ఇంకా వస్తాను.
ఓకే.
ఇదేంటంటే నాతో ఫాలో అవుతున్న వాళ్ళకి, నా ఫ్యామిలీకి నిజంగా ఉపయోగపడాలంటే వాళ్ళు ఏం చేయాలని 2 విధాలు ఆలోచించాను అనమాట. ప్రసాద్ వచ్చాడు. సో ఏంటంటే నా క్లోజ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, నన్ను క్లోజ్ గా ఫాలో అవుతున్న వాళ్ళు, నా ఫ్యామిలీ ఎవరైనా సరే వాళ్ళందరికీ కూడా ఇది హ్యూమన్ ఎన్హాన్స్మెంట్ పారాడైమ్ అన్నమాట. అంటే రకరకాల ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, రకరకాల సిచ్యువేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా. సో అట్లా చేసే బదులు మన యాక్చువల్గా మన ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్స్ ఏంటి? బాడీ, మైండ్, హార్ట్. ఓకే, హౌ కెన్ వి రియలీ డూ స్టఫ్ దట్ ఐ డూ అని 2 విధాలు అన్నమాట. 30-day వెల్నెస్ ఛాలెంజ్ ఒకటి బిగించేస్తున్నాను, ఇంకోటేమో లైఫ్ ఎన్హాన్స్మెంట్ ఫ్రేమ్ వర్క్ అని బిగించేస్తున్నాను అనమాట. ఓకే. హాయ్ ప్రసాద్, వెల్కమ్. సో yeah, so so there is my wife, my sister, yeah, and there is also my sister's daughter, so I kind of invited the family also to participate. So my sister is the only one who is interested in India, so she came brought her sister, her daughter also. So
hello everyone, this is Sunanda here.
Yeah, hi Sunanda. So see, this is the intention, Prasad. What it is it's not just listening and going, but getting something out of it in their real life. Okay, so I said I have the courses, people who are interested, they come and do them, but also after the course also they keep on calling about things that they are not able to handle, right? That's okay, I can be there, but there is a independence when it comes that you have learned what is ancient wisdom, what is modern science is talking about, right? That way your wellness is enhanced in every aspect, not just the body, but also how you are in your mind and your psychological self, and how you really can do. So 2 initiatives are started here. One is a series of circles, another one is the whole person circle, so I came up with 2 big deals for the close friends and everybody. They'll have workbooks. One is about 12 weeks workbook, that is a life enhancement framework. That one you can take it and then start working on it each week, each day, and then see the results for yourself, or note down situations where you can come to the satsangs and discuss. That becomes so much easier for people, right? And then the second one is a 30 days wellness challenge. I'm going to announce the date very soon. That one you can start right away with me, and every day in my morning, after morning routine, I will do 1 hour from 9 to 10. Whoever can come, they can come. And at the end of the week, Saturday, we can do the whole summation of what happened that week, that kind of thing. So it's a question of who is interested, who wants to follow, that kind of thing. What do you think, Prasad? Is that a good idea?
Yes, this is a good idea. Yeah. So
it's a kind of initiative by me to really enhance things, not in a punitive way, not in a way that they can feel bad about it, but more like how can they do, so the so instead of private offerings that are going on to people, which will continue, this is more like a uh, important understanding, and also living. It's not about just getting information. It's about really applying them in real life, and really getting benefited from them. We don't want to put it in that way, but that's what I want to see: a transformation, a real change, something that they could enjoy the life rather than suffer in life. That is the intention. If everybody understands and then be sincere about whatever they are doing, I think they'll be very happy about it. Okay. So
Yeah. More importantly, this approach would also bring a nice structure for the learners and also to that, so that people can learn also collectively.
Yeah, but then just learning is not I'm looking for. I'm looking for application in their life.
Right, right.
You have to learn first for that, but then applying that is where the people are getting lost. Suppose a doctor comes and he says, I cannot avoid all this overload of information from the EMR, that is there, is coming at me all the time. Then I will show him how to handle the mind itself, which is allowed to overwhelm itself. That's a very, very new understanding, new recognition for them. But then to be in that witness mode is the important thing. Okay, otherwise you will go on quoting everything that we tell them, and then you don't really come into real change. That is what is happening with people. But when once I see them, suppose I point out, see how you are allowing your mind to take over you. They have a recognition, and then immediately they say, okay, this is what I'm doing. And then they come out of it. Otherwise, any amount of information becomes more information, you know. So that's what I was trying to tell even the people with the diabetics, heart disease, and all that. More the illness, their mind is making it much worse, that kind of thing. So I developed several, I mean, gamma talks, but you may not be able to see all that. But that takes a lot of time. At least I will show you this latest thing that I did. There's the life enhancement work, and this is the proactive wellness 30-day wellness challenge. So are you smart about being well? Say we should say people leave the least importance for that because they have so many things that they want to do. Usually, is that right? Most of the people are kind of put the wellness aspect of it at the last because I have this pain, but I will take care of it later after I'm done with this job, after on this conference or whatever, and that is very much seen. That's why you have to question yourself: am I being smart about my wellness? Am I doing something that is really good for me to be well in the long run? In ancient wisdom, they told about Shreyas versus Preyas. Shreyas is whatever we do. Suppose we do a good diet, that is for the long-term wellness, right? And then Preyas is something very tasty but very harmful to us. We eat now for the instant gratification. So, first of all, looking at ourselves, are we instantly gratifying ourselves, or are we taking a pause and taking a break and say, is this good for me in the long run? That kind of thing. So this is a free month-long invitation to whoever want to do this intelligent daily living for individuals, families, schools. There are programs I'm initiating for all of those, but the individuals, they come here and then for 30 days, they develop this body, mind, heart awareness individually. Okay. So the core idea is wellness is not a luxury. It is common sense care. That is common sense. eating correctly, resting correctly, exercise, and all those things are commonsensical things that we could do. So this is a 30-day wellness challenge. I'm going to give you the enrollments are going to be all free, but people who want to do something for their health, they are the ones targeted. Most of the people are not really, oh, I'll take care of it later, but self-responsibility, being aware of what I'm going on here. Let me put it will start with maybe your existing conditions, like you have a heart problem, you have a asthma problem, whatever, right? From there to so you say, okay, how can I control them? How can you manage them better? And also, how can I prevent further things happening? That kind of awareness I want to develop with people. So we'll give assessment to see where they are. They can consult their own doctor and find out what their health status is, what their family health, that kind of thing. And then they start with each day with one thing. Okay, so it could be a free 30-day guide will be provided, and then you can develop assessment of habits and see what you can keep. Or what is the not just the body, mind, or anything individual, but what is the whole person path, and then you kind of design a program that you can personalize yourself and do it with my assistance. But that's done not later, but at the same day. If you want to really present something that's a problem that's going to be useful for everybody, that's fine. Otherwise, general talk on each day, right? So this is more like a proactive wellness, being proactive about our wellness for intelligent living, not just spoking unconsciously and developing the problems, things like that. Okay, and then uh, what happens is every day we look at small daily choices that matter. Okay, so it's not like a dramatically you can have big change, but slowly, growing from quite consistent daily decisions that you will learn from each day. You can go back and refer to it. Right, to the workbook will help you to jot down and then really come to conclusion and do that in a proactive way. That means you are actively doing. So for example, you are going to eat food, and I tell you, sit down and chew the food and eat. A lot of people are so hurried by their mind, by their work situation, they don't do that, right? And then always looking at where can I prevent these things. So that is something that you pick up. And then the wellness that we practice should be practical. So proactive wellness is designed for real life, not ideal conditions. Okay, suppose you have a problem with the knee and you are not able to walk, then you are supposed to do this exercise without any weight in the chair, that kind of thing. So when you really see not only my body, mind, which are my instruments, but I also have heart, but I'm aware of the whole thing. That is the genuine well-being that honors every dimension of a person, not one thing. Most of the people, for example, somebody called me the other day. They lost the friend and collaborator. That's very good, and they are mourning him, and that's all okay. But can you make the situation not affect your mind? That is something nobody really thinks about. But we see them as doctors. It's called grief reaction. Now, the question is, do you have to go through the grief reaction and lessen your mental acuity and sadness and overwhelming feeling? Or do you understand that and be aware of the grief reaction? And when something like that happens to you, you don't allow it to go through completely, so that it kind of disables you, at least for a few days or for a few months or for a few years, according to the people. I know people who are very sad about somebody passed away so many years ago, but still they carry that grief reaction, which is actually physical damage to the mind and the brain. Okay, so that's why I want to highlight that like that. Okay, so in this 30-day challenge, this is a month long, and we want to create a rhythm in life at the end of it. And so people have genuinely possible things that they will look at, right? So that is what we want to. How? What do you think about that, Prasad? Hello.
That's a good approach. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah.
cover all these things.
Yeah, this is not going to be too long. Every day, half an hour to 45 minutes or something, For example, we develop in the body segment in the first week, say respecting the body as the foundation of daily life. So, like that, water, gentle stretching, mindful walking, better rest rhythms, and all that. Okay. In the second week, we'll do to deal with the mind itself. How can you just come to the mind stopping just by 3 breaths, and then taking some digital pauses, and then how can you pay attention to one thing at a time, and then observer without judgment, that kind of thing on the mind. And also emotional balance. How can you practice gratitude for what you have and be abundant in your nature? And then how can you observe your speech and see whether it is gentle, quiet, or not, And then small acts of kindness, random act of kindness. See, actually, I make doctors do this. I tell them, don't go about your own importance, your own appishness. What you do is you stop a little bit and give some random act of kindness from your heart, not because you are getting something, but you just want to feel good and help people just by giving, And also, how are your family connections? Are they real, or are they just you are in relation only, but you don't have real intimacy? That kind of thing. And then the fourth week, we're going to really pay attention to this. This is most important thing about awareness. Okay. Everybody knows the big sentences of ancient wisdom, like aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, like that, but they don't practice that. They don't be in the awareness and then be in charge of the thought. That is what I do, which I tell you all the time. How the energy is so high, how you can give a lot because you are not in the network of thought, but you are in the awareness using the thought as a useful tool. Then you use the thought, do the work, and whatever it is to be done, and then completely dissolve it and then end the thought. That is a single most habit that all modern people can use. Ancient people were living in awareness of themselves, awareness of the nature, awareness of the inner biological circles, cardinal circles, and then they really are aware of what is going on in their own heart, in their own mind, and also what is going on outside of them in the world. Okay, that kind of awareness really helps you a lot. Like, for example, this war is going on. I'm listening to current affairs, right? And I find that all the war is going to produce a lot of stress for us. That is true. That is going to happen, and that's outside of our control. But what is in our control is how we react to it, react to situations. So that really helps you to keep the mind in a proper place, and then you can really help other people who are anxious about it, who are really depressed about it, or who are really sad about it. So those people, when they call me, I am able to help them because I'm not in that anxiety, right? It's as simple as that, but it is not taken up by people and follow. It's very simple. It's not a psychologist, it's not a guru, it's not somebody else to point out. We have to be in awareness. And I always tell people, get up in the morning and be aware of what's going on in your external circumstances, in nature, what is happening. What's happening, the live things around you. Are you in touch with the flowers and leaves and all that? That kind of awareness, you start the day, then your mind won't be running by itself. Then when you go into life and you want to do your job or your business or whatever, you be attentive to one thing at a time. Okay, that's very, very important. So morning stillness, cultivate that. And then you want to reflect on everything that's going on, and then when you're doing the service, do that without any expectation. Then what important is doing the service, not the fruits. That's very, very simple, right? And then uh, you can at the end of the fourth week you can integrate the whole month. So
may I ask you a question,
yeah,
Dr.
yeah, please, please.
I have this is two part. One is um, uh, we have my sister Padmaja Venigandla joined us today.
Oh, welcome,
So,
welcome, Padma.
just like the way how I work with you, I am also working with her. She is in Parvatipuram, Andhra Pradesh. So we both are working towards, about Suraksha Trust that I formed last year in India. So through that also, um, she is very kind person, and she runs an ashramam called Jettu Ashramam out of Parvatipuram in Andhra Pradesh, and she is taking care of a lot of young kids, and she gives them, she supports them in education and other stuff, including protecting environment, organic farming, etc. We've been constantly talking about yourself, how we could involve your teachings to the villages, because we this is not new, but again we want to work with collective group of villagers so that we can.
This wisdom is not new, but it needed to be implemented. That's all.
I just want to introduce her to you today, and we were always thinking about a model where we can also change the perception of people even in the villages.
Oh yeah.
Before that,
you remember in the beginning, Prasad.
Urban area, but again, villages are also being, destroyed with this, materialism and all this kind of stuff, including behaviors.
You see, you remember in the first slide, what I said is a free month-long invitation to intelligent daily living, to individuals, to families, to schools, communities, and workplaces. So she calls me, and then I arrange a meeting with our group or whoever working with her, and they will be given this workbook too, and they can also have their own way to join me and then work on these things. And also the whole families or schools and communities that is separated, developed separately. For example, you are in the families. How many families fight with nonsensical things, and then they spoil their time, and they generate a lot of suffering, misunderstandings or demands or whatever, right? So address it to all those intellectual things or emotional things going on within the families. When the families come together for an occasion, instead of getting closer, they fight for the festivals, marriages, whatever, right? That kind of thing. What is happening in the schools? How are they directing the kids? That is there. In the communities as a whole, how are we enhancing the community basic structure to enhance the whole community and make it much easier to follow this kind of, and also the workplaces, all the corporations, everything. So this is not just for only individuals. It starts with them, but then it goes into the families, schools, communities, and workplaces. I developed all the 5 programs for that, but the same thing in a different emphasis. So we'll do that. Definitely, I welcome that. Thank you, Padmaja, for joining us. And I want to work with a lot of institutions, hospitals, and that too. So if you know a hospital in the India, you can always invite them to our meetings, and then we will help them with whatever thing. For example, they are having a lot of burnout, and they are not able to retain staff. Doctors and nurses are going away, right? That's a big problem for the hospitals. To hire them is a much more costly, train them and all that. So those kind of issues also I address them, so that they are not having this stress and burnout in the healthcare, galloping, really all the people away from the hospitals. That also is there. So according to situations, according to the problems, the main thing is people don't know how to handle stress in life or situations in life, and then they're burning out because they are not able to apply the right kind of tools that they have. They don't know how to manage their body, first of all, and they don't care about that lots of time because they are pulled away by their duties. And they may know a little bit, but they don't apply that because when it comes to application, they feel like not having the energy, not having the real strength to do that. That's when the individual people call me, but I kind of want people to be certified in this too, how they can they can take a path I'm going to learn and I'm going to apply it to my life. Then I will see my families are happy. That's why I told my sister, invite your daughters also, so that they can learn some things and then they can apply for themselves. If they know they are doing it well and fine, very good. But what we want to encourage is spread it around with everybody in a non-teaching, in non-overwhelming way, so that people feel the kindness and compassion that we have, through which their life is changed. That's the only reward that you get. It's not about the accumulation of money or anything. If people may do that, but our style is how can we make a difference in people's, in families, communities life. I kind of used to say wellness of the individual, wellness of the family, wellness of the community, wellness of the countries, wellness of the world, wellness of the whole planet. That's where ecology comes into me, and how we can help the ecological problems also like that. Okay, so first of all, I'm not stressed out by the wars going on, by the things going on. I feel bad because of the things, people are dying and all that, but I am not stressed by it because I can see this is a change in people not really applying themselves to be holistic in everything that they do. Once they understand that, it's very important for the villages to recapture that. They had that before, but then this modern way of going after things that do not matter in the long run has made them also compete and come back into that. But then once they understand, it's much more easy for them to be closer to the nature and closer to the relationship that we can have, and this heartful living that we can do. That's one thing I always talk about is a heartful living. How can you keep your ledger-like mind aside and come to life with heart? Like I present this, that's out of that. So then what happens is whoever comes and listens to and they follow and they also help their families. Suppose Sunanda is there, she has a daughter, and then she can talk to her and then make her suffering much less than we had, because she is applying these wellness principles proactively every day. That's a idea, right, Prasad?
Yes. So I have a follow-up question on this. Many people think that going to a religious place or a meeting guru would bring them swantana or whatever they feel like. So I want you to make a comment on the striking difference between what we are trying to do here and going to religious places and doing all those rituals. Can you comment on that?
See, even ancients also talked clearly about there is mano jano. Mano means like a bhakti, like a belief, like you trust somebody and then you follow. Jano is learn, know, have the knowledge about things. Our approach is about what is the collective human wisdom over centuries, over lot of decades and of scientific quest and also spiritual quest. Both are sciences in a way, because they pose a question, they find for the answer, they go and then they get it, and then they approve by external means or internal means. What is missing here is people are taking a role of a guru or a big leader or whatever, and then they are not really aiming for the wellness of the people. They are more about their own ego, their own uppishness and all, which is really silly. With spiritual realization, you transcend that egoic nature. So you are living a holistic life, then you want to spread that knowledge to other people. For example, teeth care is there in India. They want you to brush and eat. That's totally wrong. But if you take the Western way, first brush your teeth is not the thing. First eat, and then after eat, get all the food particles out of. This is a simple thing, but it goes a long way for your gingival health, for your strength of the teeth and all the cavities and all that. Okay, so yogis, they just ate and they kind of rinse the mouth for 17 times. So all the food particles are gone. They don't even have to brush, but they have this tongue cleaner so that they can eliminate a lot of toxic material that accumulates on the tongue, that kind of thing. So once you know that, do you follow that every day? At least 4 or 5 times do you rinse the mouth after you eat? And also, do you really do the flossing so that all the food particles are gone? Very simple thing. You want to be proactive about that. Every time you eat, you have to do this. That's a simple thing. Once you do that, your long-term dental health, and then you don't have to go to the dental doctor that much. So that saves you a lot of suffering, lot of time, lot of energy, and also a lot of unnecessary suffering. There's a lot of unnecessary suffering in modern life because we don't really pay attention to the wisdom of wellness, right from our yoga, our Ayurveda, or Chinese medicine. Lot of stuff that is there in Japan or other papers. People are really protecting their health for a long time. And if you go to Okinawa in Japan, that village has the highest number of 100 plus people. They are very happy, living very healthy till they're late. So that is possible. And but a modern healthcare has evolved into more like a symptom control rather than root causes of illness control. Here, what we are doing is we are not pretending we are the teachers, are maybe teaching some of the knowledge, but doesn't mean that we own everything. What it is sharing what are the wisdom practices that we could do in a commonsensical way every day. You don't have to be big genius for that. You just have to be sincere about it, and you just have to pay attention to the knowledge, respect the knowledge, and then apply the knowledge in your life. That is the difference between pretending I am the only one, I know everything, I'm going to tell you versus no, this is available in our collective wisdom. Draw it up and share it and remind them, and they may know it already, but they're not following it. They may come into that. So I'm not a guru. I am more like a physician teacher. And but my thing is, I don't only follow modern methods, but also ancient wellness practices based on awareness. Modern practices based on thought and knowledge and all that. Both can be combined appropriately to the living condition that we have. But what are you inside? What do you know about yourself? How do you handle your own inner nature, inner thoughts, inner wellness? That is where I focus on. And also I use the diagnostics of the modern condition very well, and also use some of the treatments that are available in the modern that are not available in the ancient times. But generally, ancient times is about nature, being natural. So coming back to it is the really wellness practices that we remind people. I want them to get up early, be really oriented to the stillness within themselves, not allowing the thought to go up. What do people do? They get up and they immediately engage in thought. What's coming up to me? What is I have to do? What I have to, whom I have to influence to make more money? That kind of thing. That continuous thoughts allow you to build up the network of thought. Don't get caught in that. What you want to do is you want to be away from it in awareness, do the stuff, do the service, then that becomes much more meaningful for everybody. So the difference is this is not preaching. This is not telling people you got to do this by yourself. It's more like it's a maintaining the our wellness, which I said is not a luxury, but take a challenge. See where you are in all the aspect of get your body and mind and also your emotions, and then go into the inner awareness. That's a fundamental thing, which is the most difficult. Is people get caught in the own thinking a lot, and that thinking goes on without really getting you anything new. and that really exposes you to burnout and stress. Is that clear, Prasad?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Padmaja, you can talk also. You can tell me what do you think about that.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Personally, I had to practice before I can
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
Mujahid, as you said. And sure, I take
That is so
what
true. Be the change you want. That is what Gandhi said. That's a very famous saying, right? So me too. If I don't do these things I'm telling you, then it will not be. I live in awareness. I use thought consciously, and I end thought. That is the biggest energy saver for me. So I don't go on thinking, thinking, thinking. If I do that, how can I tell you to be awareness? So to one statement by Raman Maharshi helps me a lot. He said, one's attention has always to be poised on one's inner self. Inner self, self-realization, and all that big deal, big words. But basically, if you are very simple, you can see the movement of thought. But yoga teaches you stillness of thought. Yoga teaches you about silence of the thought. People don't practice being silent in the morning, in the evening at least. I kind of really practice not only in the morning and evening, but all through the day also. When I'm not doing something with the thought, I return back to the silent self and stay there. This statement helps. One's attention has always to be poised on one's inner self, your Atman, yourself. That is more important than the thinking self. Okay, that is the awareness versus thought. This is profound implications for modern life. Modern life thinks thought is everything. That Descartes, he said, I think, therefore I am. No, thinking is your asset. Thinking changes, right? From one knowing one, later on changing, it goes on. So thinking is not really uh, us. Thinking is our one aspect of our one tool of ours. But we are aware beyond the thinking. Everything happens in the awareness, and that is what ancient talked about, and they kind of told us to be silent, to go into the awareness. Our Vedanta tells you you can be aware of it even when you are awake and all that. So that is a difference we have to grasp, and then modern people will have more sukoon, more peace of mind when they know the stillness of mind. How many people are practicing the stillness of mind? That is the question. You can do that. You can learn that. Okay. You can see. You can learn by getting up in the morning. You be still. Okay, and begin each day before the noise begins. Okay, and then you can see the thought springing up, and then you can see the movement of thought and not be influenced by it, but let the thought go on itself and then calm down. But if you give more impetus for the thought by other thoughts, it will form the network where you get caught. Okay, and then you want to stop in between the jobs and reflect. Like 1 hour you have done, stop and pause and say, what is truly matters to me today? Why I am doing all these things without any purpose? Is that synchronous with my purpose? That kind of reflection. And then when you do some stuff, do it like karma yoga, service without expectation. Once you do that, you see the beauty of giving from the abundant inner self. And then at the end of the month or every day you kind of do. So my daily thing is get up in the morning. First, awareness. Be aware of what's going on, both outside and inside. Second is throughout the day, whatever you do it, but do only one thing at a time. Don't try to do multiple things at a time. That way, the attention is going down. These people are trying to get our attention all the time. So be guarded about that. And then at the end of the day, don't go to sleep unless you vacate everything that happened today. Write it down on a paper or put it on a device, but not in your mind. Wash it off, vacate it. That is why awareness first A, second A is attention during the day, and at the end of the day, vacating. How many people are practicing this? I talked about this several times before. Anybody practices this? Prasad?
Yeah, I'm at 60% level. I know honestly that I need to.
Yeah, that's where I want to. That's where I want to kind of show them, like, how somebody who is doing this, enjoying this, how can I tell them to conserve their energy? How to, say, lots of people think they are more productive by doing so many things at a time. But if you practice one day where you are doing one thing at a time completely and then moving to the second one, you will find you have a lot more energy at the end of the day. And also, more of your things are done well because you are paying attention completely to that. You will discover for yourself, then you will not go away from it. So one day, proactively, I want to be silent today. I want to be attentive to whatever I do. And at the end of the day, I'm going to vacate everything that's my mind, or you can say review of reactions, see what happened all day, how did I react, what are these reactions, why should I react, is that really valid or not. That kind of reflection is very important. Stop and reflect, and then don't judge yourself, but then just let them go if they are not important. If they are important, write them down. What? Somebody is saying something.
I think she's talking to somebody.
Okay. Yeah. So this is something that I would recommend everybody to, first of all, to understand what is this awareness, what is this thought. That itself is a big deal. And living it in awareness is a much more big deal. That is the biggest boon you have. As a human being, you can do that. You can get stuck in the memory, or you can get stuck in the future. But if you want to be here and now and just come back to your breath every time and bring your mind, everything to the present moment. So suppose something happened to you, some tragedy, and that tragedy is kept on prolonging by your own thoughts. So you can ask, like, can I? Yeah.
Chimbabu, can you speak?
What?
Hello?
Can you hear me, son Nandu?
Yeah. Can I speak? Can I say something?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So basically, I'm going through a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And I have started doing journaling. It's basically the past, the future, and the present.
Yeah.
So my mind is very, 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 very active.
Yeah.
So I am trying to, reduce my anxiety levels.
Ask this question. A very simple thing is, ask this question of yourself. If you are anxious about something, right? Is this happening here, or is this happening in my mind?
Right.
Then the whole thing brings you to the present situation where nothing is happening. Only it is in your mind. So you can have two choices. Either you can be in your mind, which is what we are doing, modern people, not only you, everybody, or we can be here and now in life. Life is happening here. Life is not happening in your mind. You may react to the life, but then life is always in the present. So if you want to be in the life of what is happening here, then that is like somebody is talking. Who is that talking all the time? Mute your microphones, please. That way other people can talk also. When you want to talk, then only activate that. So this is the present, right? Like I can go on talking over those people instead of telling them what is happening in the life is somebody else is talking, that's interfering with our communication. So we request them, and then we come back to the present, right? So unless I'm aware of that, I cannot really ask them to keep the mic muted, right? So the same thing, anything that's happening, ask yourself, is this happening here and now in my life? That's a real life. Or is happening only in my mind? I'm giving force to it. Then you are brought back to the life here and now. Okay, that you practice from the morning till evening for a few days, then you will discover what is to be in the present moment awareness, which is thoughtless state. I enjoy that. Everybody can enjoy that. That's the point. It's not like a special gift. It's a question of bringing yourself to life here and now. Right? Suppose an event happened to you a few months ago, and you are bringing back to in your mind again and again, thinking about it, and that you want to break it by asking, is this happened, or is this happening now, or am I making happen in my mind? Then you will be seeing the practicality. No, it has happened long time ago. Only you are recollecting it. You are bringing it to the present moment. You are overwhelming the present life with something that's not really true. Right? So whatever it is, it's a broken marriage or divorce or death or accident, disease, everything is okay. If you approach with the present moment awareness, it's much more easy to handle that situation.
Right.
So suppose you are anxious about something, ask, is that thing happening now? Why am anxiety about that? Or is it in my intelligence, that in my mind? So you are using your intelligence against you, right? Instead, the intelligence is, this is not happening now, this has already happened. Let me do what I can do with that experience, but I don't want to go through the same experience in my mind again. That's how you, samskaras, our people call it. Here is ingrained thought. What you do is, your same thought, you are fortifying it, so it becomes much compacted road, and those roads are formed, and they won't leave you, they will come to you later in life. So that's why your one single word for you is present moment living. Bring yourself back to the present and see what changes happens. You have to do that every time it happens.
Okay.
Ask yourself, am I being in the present moment, or am I imagining things? And then it becomes so much easier for you to handle life as it is. So it is a question of, are we dealing with the life as it is now, or are we living in our mind about that? That is the problem with the modern conditions, modern life is, so much information comes into us, and we allow our mind to go after everything. And those things, that means you don't have control about your own movement of thought. Remember that word, movement of thought. If the movement of thought is kind of understood and used properly, you are using your intelligence very correctly to your life, and you lead an excellent life. But if you let that movement of go away and then do whatever it wants to do in inappropriate time, then you get into trouble. Suppose you are occupied, preoccupied, right? And you are doing some job, and the job is not done well, then you will get trouble with your management because of that.
Right.
That's what is happening in modern life. Is modern life doesn't come back to the nature. Our natural nature is, our inner self is always quiet. That is the peace, because the movement of thought is not there. So understand that, and then you say, I'm imagining these things, or am I reliving or recovering these things? So you are using your memory against you, you are using your imagination against you. Once you understand that, you don't have to blame yourself. You just say, I'm kind of living in the wrong way. The real life is here and now. You are with me right now. We are discussing what is to be proactively well. How can you participate in this program so that you can take that input and use it for yourself, so that you can transfer. It's not about listening to me. It's not about coming and praising me. It's not that. It is your transformation within yourself. Then you are being proactive about being well in the long run. There is no point in wasting our energy in suffering. That is what is happening in modern life, is unnecessary suffering. and they don't know how to go because the suffering overwhelms them. Situations overwhelm them, economic situations, bankruptcies, or losing properties, whatever, right? But if you say, okay, these are all external things, they come and go, but I should not be really so much emotionally attached to them. But if you are, to begin with, you know when the attachment is making, then you don't make the attachment, and then you don't have a problem to worry about.
Mm.
So one simple word is present moment living. That I put a word like a PMA, present moment awareness. Awareness. Awareness is thoughtless. You're choicelessly aware. When you get up in the morning, you don't tell yourself, I have to be awake and all. You just become awake and aware, right? But you don't stay in that awareness. You let your mind take you away. That is the only thing that you want to understand. This is actually treatment also for our anxieties, for our depression. So if you worry about things, what is going to happen to my life, what is going to do, all that, that is a future worry, right? That's like staying in a rocker chair and then rocking back and forth, not going anywhere. That is the psychological loop of thoughts that bind us. Once you break through that with awareness of that mechanism, you don't need anybody else to guide you. You will be living in the present. You will be dealing with things as they are. Suppose you want one particular sari to last for 3 years, but it won't last for 3 months. That is something that you is going against your wishes, your aspirations. But okay, I can get another sari. Okay, this quality is not good. Then you're dealing with the situation as it is and let it go. Instead of that making you feel bad, feel lost and all that. See how the thought movement is? Is that clear, Sonandu?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
very clear.
Yeah,
Very
just
clear.
PMA. Remember that. Present moment awareness.
Awareness. Right.
That's it. See, we will deal with all this awareness thing in the fourth week because you want to have a base of fundamental wellness of the body, then the mind, then the emotions, and then we come to the inner awareness. But this is all from the ancient wisdom. Modern sciences have a lot of understanding about thought theories and all that, but they don't know how to get rid of the thought prison, and everybody is getting trapped in the thought prison. But the thought prison out is awareness. You are already that. Once you realize that, you don't let your mind take you away from there because you are always in the present.
Right.
Actually, it's a very simple thing, but so much influence, so many people telling us the other way to take us, and then they give us labels. They say, you are an anxious person. No, you are having anxiety. You are, as a person, you are okay, but you have developed this anxiety as an illness because you allowed it to grow.
Grow.
So don't be worried about because I'm anxious, I should not. No, it's not that. It's not that you are weak. It is that you are not properly aligned with your real inner self.
Mm.
See, you are aligned with your degrees, with your job, with your status, with your children, with all those external things.
In the month of January, I was very, very, very bad.
Hmm.
But then I really worked on myself a lot, and I did a lot of reading, I did a lot of things, and I'm in a much better space now. But still, trying to get myself back to the present, like what you said.
Yeah.
But I'm not as bad as what I was in the month.
Now, when you say you have worked a lot, read a lot, then you are allowing the thoughts to multiply. We are talking about thoughtless awareness here.
Right.
See, suppose external thing is there, some job has to be done, a chair is broken, you want to put it together, you use the thought, you see where the nails have to go and all that. That's okay. But when it comes to your inner self, the thought becomes a curse on you. If you think about the future, it becomes anxiety. If you think about what is happened in the past is really pulling me down negatively, that negative thought leads to depression. Either way, it is the misuse of thought. It's not able to understand how thought perpetuates itself and creates suffering for you.
Yes.
So inbuilt thoughts, the inbuilt mechanism that you want to look at, and then the other ancient thought is be silent. How much time do you practice being silent?
Um, I have a lot of time being silent.
No, that is the modern way of not being silent, because nobody really showed us that. But once we understand this, that we are allowing our thoughts create this unnecessary suffering, then we are proactively intelligent about not being like that. That's all. And that doesn't happen in my mind, it happens in your mind. So this is something like a subjective. It's not about reading books or quoting people. It's about really transforming ourselves and then really looking at what is going on within ourselves. So it's like a self-made thing, and people have to take responsibility for themselves. And then you don't have to punish yourself saying, "Oh, I'm so stupid," whatever. No, it's just that you did know. Now you are coming to know. Let us implement. That is the toughest part.
Yeah.
So be quite kind to yourself. Be kind of okay. We are doing this stuff unknowingly. Let me be aware. That's why first thing in the morning, Nandu, when you get up, don't allow your thoughts take over you. First thought, okay? Don't allow it to take over. You be aware of it and keep it aside, and be aware of what is going on. How is the light? How is the sky? How is the nature? How are the plants or animals or people are in my house? Am I connected with that? That is important, and allowing yourself to be launching in the present moment right there. And then once you have established it in my morning routine, that's what I tell them. This is a hour of awareness. It says alignment of body, mind, and breath. The breath, deep breath, keeps your thoughts running away from you, kind of keeps you there. Start with that, and then whatever jobs you have to do, whatever things you want to do in your life, do everything with complete attention through the day. Okay? That means attention to every action. Then not thinking over too much about them, but whatever thinking, whatever learning you have, flows through silently, and then at the job you will be very happy and you won't generate stress for yourself. And at the end of the day, again, before you go to sleep, because sleep is a detoxifier, detoxes a lot of organs and also the brain, right? So you don't want to have too many thoughts staying there going on by themselves. So that's why you actively take them, look at them, and then dump them. Okay? If this is important, write it down on a paper and then dump it. For the night, dump it. Then when the next morning you wake up, you have written down what are the important things that you want to do. Your career, your loved ones, so many important things will be there, right? So those you have written down instead of keeping them in your mind. This emptying the mind is the key for modern health. Okay? See, how many people make their illnesses worse by thinking a lot about them, fearing them, and not able to do what they need to do. I know a diabetic, she thinks a lot about her blood sugar numbers. So her blood sugars have got worse because her own thinking is making it bad. This is called psychosomatic illness. You know, where I learned the solution for this psychosomatic illness? In Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna points out how our mind aggravates our body's chemicals and everything, and all the stress hormones make it worse, much worse. Like when I was a stroke victim, I kind of did not allow my mind to go either to the past or into the future, but I stayed in the present because I was practicing that before that. But when I had that bad thing happen, I didn't allow my mind to make it much worse.
Right.
The same thing, something happens to the body, or something happens to our relationship, something happens to our economic security, whatever, those events are bound to happen in life. But
Yes.
how we allow them to influence our inner life is our choice. That's what I'm trying to point out here.
Yes.
So ask yourself, what I'm thinking, is this happening here now, or am I imagining, or am I fortifying it? Am I putting highways of the thoughts in my mind, and then they go to come back? That's called the samskaras. They come back. So you got to be aware of that, then not allowing them to proliferate. Solution is living in the present. Not that things should happen according to what you want, but you are facing what is happening with stillness.
Yes.
See, then what happens? You are able to handle the problem with much more energy, much more focus, much more attentiveness, because you are not allowing your own mind take you away from the present moment.
Yeah.
That's why living in the present means, suppose you are living with somebody and you want to really provide them good movements that they can really help those movements, help like my wife, she lost her mother and father, which like we all do. We all do our own people, right? But she was able to handle them better because she already knew how I was handling with this brain reaction, or really having that uh, uh, grief reaction. Okay, grief will be there, but to prolong that is what we do. Okay, so but if you see, if you can spend time with them completely every day, at least somewhat, then you have really lived with them while they are alive. Then when they pass away, you don't feel so much bad. Okay, so recollect that I spent all that I could do with that person or that life, but now I have to let it go. The let go is what yoga teaches you.
Right.
Like, for example, see how my behavior with my sister. I call her almost every day, or whenever I have the time, right? And also, I get involved with her own inner suffering or outer suffering, and then try to help her, try to be there for her as a brother, as a friend, as a evaluation. That's all. Then I have spent really meaningfully with my loved ones. That is important. Okay, for that we got to be able to offer our whole. But if I am occupied with my own worries, my own problems, how can I give my heartful feeling to anybody? So that's why you want to be proactively well first. Like Padmaja was saying, she has to do it. That's very true. Unless we do it, we don't have the moral authority to tell anybody. If I am not living in the present, if I am stuck with all the past and everything, then I'm only wasting my own energy.
Right.
That is very clear to me. That's the way it has to be clear to you. How it is your mind is set in a particular way right now. It won't change just like that. But you should be able to see that every day in the morning and then come back to the present. Then few days later, it becomes so natural. That is the natural thing. What is not natural is this movement of thought, which we can adapt it and then stuck there. To come back to it takes some time by following this, recollecting. Even for me, that sentence by Ramana Maharshi, one's attention has always to be poised on one's inner self. Is the self is big S. That kind of brings me back completely from all the mental, whatever thoughtful activities, all those things, come back to the present moment and station in my being. And that is such a important thing. That is gives the highest health, because mind is not moving, stress hormones are not secreted, and you are living life fully and let it go as it passes. and then paying attention to whatever that comes to. So what is important is how much we kind of spend time with the people when they are alive. Once that is there, you cannot cling on to the life saying, oh, you stop here, I have to be having this relationship. It doesn't happen. Sooner or later, all relationships will end, right? But we want them to continue. That is where we are not in the present. We are not praying the present reality, that person is gone. But we want that to be hang on in your mind. Let it go. Let it pass. And then that even that Atman who has gone will be freer. That's why they tell you, don't cry a lot about somebody who has departed. It's not good for their soul.
Yes.
So, but not for you, not for them. So you you develop some vairagya about these things. See, how does vairagya come? Do you know what is vairagya is?
Detachment.
Yeah. How does it come?
How does it come?
Okay, let me tell you what I understood. Okay. There are 4 principles in spiritual qualities that you require to progress spiritually. First one is called Viveka. Viveka means discrimination between what is real and what is not real. What is permanent, what is not permanent. What you can let go, what you cannot let go. That kind of discrimination. For example, you have a rupee in your hand. You put a light to it, okay, and you burned it. But then you are feeling, oh, I wasted my money, I kind of irresponsible and all that. Then you are kind of really not letting go of that rupee. You are still attached to that. That is, vairagya is detachment, but really understanding what is that is permanent that I can attach, what is not permanent. Except the inner self, that divine being is in everybody, is always there. That is what Krishna describes, najayate mriyate eva. That never has born, never going to die. That is going to continue after the life of the body and mind. Right? So what is temporary here? That body and mind, that rupam, the swarupa with that, with the name and everything. That is going to go, but the underlying inner being is permanent. It's not going to go anywhere. Nobody is going to kill it. Nobody is going to make it come back. Understand? So once you understand that, that is what the sloka in Bhagavad Gita says, najayate mriyate va. The one that is never born, never die is you really. Everything else, the Bhishma, Drona, everybody's bodies, minds, they are not that there. You are not going to kill that other being. So don't worry about killing that other being. You will not be able to do that. You and me and them, we existed all the time. So if that permanence is there, then you don't long for the body and the mind. You understand? Usually we attach to our role. Oh, this person is taking care of me very well. This person is kind to us, loving to us. That's why you weep when somebody like that goes away from you. Prasad, are you listening? Prasad? Whatever happened?
Yes, I'm right with you. And
Yeah.
I have to thank Nandu also for being brave to bring this up so that we can learn a lot.
Yeah, I brought in Prasad because he lost his dear friend and colleague and his partner in his endeavors recently. That's why this is personally applies to, at this time to Prasad maybe, but later on to me or somebody else. So this kind of attitude I developed with my wife. I told her about the grief reaction and all that. So when she lost her mother and recently her brother, she was able to handle that much more, better. It's not that you don't miss them. It's not that you don't love them. It is that you recall the good times of them, and also you recall what are the things from their life that are good can be continued here. When my patients lost their loved ones, they came to me in deep grief. I asked them one thing: do you know you can make your last one live again? They said, oh, what is that? What are you talking about? Then I said, Think about their life. Celebrate the moments that are good for them, for everybody, and the good times they made you laugh, whatever. And then let those qualities live in you, thereby He lives through you forever. This is not really something not doable. People can do it. Oh, he used to love this cake after this, and then they used to make the cake, and in his name they enjoyed it. Everybody else enjoyed it, and in that way they kind of remembered him in a nice way and let it nurture the life of other people too. How does it make you feel, Nandu, when I say that?
Yeah, hopeful.
Yeah, no, no. You can recall whatever qualities he had and celebrate them.
Yes.
Thereby, you can allow him to live through you.
Right.
But, pay attention to the people here and now. Don't be drowned in the sorrow so that you lose that sharing with people who are here.
Right.
So, first of all, this awareness that we really don't die, we always continue, gives you a lot of energy. Vivekananda said that. Somebody said, some Christian, somebody came to me and said, I know I only have this life. I want to live this life completely. So I want to be focused on this life here and now. And that's why I live. And then he said, you are squeezing the lemon to the last drop. That is what the other person was saying. I was squeezing my lemon as much as possible. But I do it thousands times more because I know I don't die as an Atman. So I have all the time I want to do not this year, not next year, not all that. Next life and next life. So let me understand what is permanent, that is the self, that's the Atman. What is not self is the body-mind complex. That is going to go away. Body changes every minute, mind changes every minute, right? So that is not permanent. That's going to go away. But what is going to stay is my inner being. Staying in the inner being, watching this movement of mind is so much easier. That is why you have to realize that self, that is called the self-realization. That is the highest state of health in the body and mind, because your mind don't work on your body in a negative way. Right now it is doing that. But we are allowing that to say, because we don't develop this vairagya for the body-mind complex, which is going to go anyway. Something inevitable, right? That something is going to pass away after 100 years, 120, whatever. But then you are allowing your mind to hasten that. And you are weeping about something that's going to happen inevitably. That is why you have to let it go. That is vairagya. So in Viveka, you develop the discrimination between what is permanent, what is not permanent, right? And then vairagya is going to develop detachment to the things that are not permanent.
Right.
And then you won't cry for the person, body and mind. He has lived his life and then passed away. He will go into some other life or whatever. We don't know. But important thing is, he is not here. His memories are here. His things, you can celebrate them and make them happier for everybody rather than a sad factor.
Right.
Then what happens, you see, when I was born, my Razane was there, my brothers, sisters were there, brother-in-laws were there. But now you see, two sisters are gone, and all three brother-in-laws are gone. My Razane is gone. So much of family we thought they are not there. But then I was not confined only to them as the family. I adopted the entire humanity as my family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So what I'm doing is, how can I take care of my family that is left with me, which is the entire Jagat? So I'm not lonely. I'm connected to everybody. You are everybody. But if you don't connect with like that, then you feel lonely.
Right.
That is the oneness they talked about. All human beings are connected with this inner being as one. Once I realized that, You may be Nandu, you may be a separate body, mind, but in your inner being and me, we are the same.
Right.
So why should I feel lonely? I never feel lonely. Do you know that?
Okay.
I don't have that feeling. Being I'm always available. I'm always connected with everybody. So my life is very much expanded.
Mm.
Not by my I'm very not by making a lot of money accumulation. Not that. By going inward and find out who I am, how I am connected inner being with other inner beings as one.
Mm.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. All living beings has only one inner self. You remember I told you about the Bhagavad Gita, most important sloka according to Ramana Maharshi, chapter 10, verse 20. In that, Krishna tells Arjuna, I am the beginning, middle, end of all living beings. Okay, that life in the plant, in the animal, in the human beings, that life inner self is the intelligence I'm talking about. Come close to the intelligence and be in the rather than being the intelligence of the brain, which is limited. That is where your suffering is. Not just you, all human beings suffering is that. So that's why when you transcend this small ego, small mind, small thinking, you transcended the suffering. You are always in that inner bliss. That only you can experience. Nobody can tell you experience this. Only you have to go, you have to find out where you are, and then from discrimination of non-self and really developing detachment to the non-self, and then you calm your mind and senses down, and then you develop this mumukshatva, intense curiosity about your inner self, and go and find it. You get it?
That's very, yeah, yeah.
It's all there in
Nice.
it's all there in ancient wisdom. My thing is, I am able to understand suffering in the modern times and what are the causes, and found the answers in the ancient wisdom. So I combine ancient wisdom, neuroscience, psychology, modern psychology, and also modern biology, and also modern technology, and put it all together and make my life servicing other people so that they don't have the unnecessary suffering. But if you are not interested in having that relief, nobody can help you.
Right.
That is where I'm saying you be smart about being well. You develop this proactive wellness behaviors in your life proactively. Nobody need to say reactively. So you are suffering. No, you want to develop this proactive behaviors from all the aspects of our life slowly.
Right.
A lot of people who don't know anything about their own suffering, and they just go through the suffering, that's all. They kind of promote things that enhance this suffering. That is why it's not about other people, it is about us. How can I can find out about myself? Where am I? Am I thinking this body mind is going to stay forever? Then I'm wrong about it. That kind of thing. You understand? So these initiatives are for you. So it is up to you to come and use it, and involve your own circles, your own families to develop these habits about it. First, to learn about, like Padmaja said, first we have to do ourselves. Don't have to feel guilty about it. It's a question of arriving to the understanding because nobody else is pointing out to it.
Right.
A doctor who wants to promote illness treats you and makes you money. He's only interested in that external thing which is not going to stay there. So you don't want to be with the doctor, but you want to be your own doctor by understanding what is available for me to do the natural things, preventive things, proactive things that will make me healthy in all respects. So from having a body that is healthy, having a mind that is stable, having a heart that is open, and really knowing who we are inside. That is the gradation. Suppose you are physically ill, fix that. Suppose you are mentally anxious or depressed, fix that. Suppose you are emotionally liable and you have a lot of problems, fix that. And then, with a calm mind, focused mind, you go and you kind of find out who you are, and then it will reveal you your inner self, your true self. That true essence is everything. Once you landed in that, then you are not really bothered about other people, other things, and all that. You just do whatever. But in case something is there with other people, you help them. See, other people come to me. If I start to judge them, if I start to say these people don't know anything, where can I help them? So it's about my ego, right? So I had to dismantle the ego. Then I understood what is ego, what is really not real. That is gone. Then it's not about me, it's about suffering of others. Then that led me to do this service. Okay. And then make sure that people understand their own tools and then use them properly. So it's about what we are doing with the people who are living now, right? And you see, among my brothers and sisters, also me and my Rohini sister, we are close. And she was able to really see where I'm going, what I'm doing, and then use that for her own life, and then reduce her otherwise suffering a lot, right? And then I told her to pass on to the daughters, they can also use this information. Then she brought you, and then you are getting insight into that. Now it is your duty to do for yourself proactively these wellness measures.
Yes.
That's why it's not only about you, it is about anybody who is connected with you can use this to bring them or encourage them or tell them or share with them your experience, so that they will also follow that knowledge. They don't have to necessarily follow me, follow that knowledge. And then that will, okay, well, it doesn't care for me whether you follow me or not. If you follow me, if you transform yourself, I'm happy. But if you don't follow me, I don't mind, because it's your prerogative. Okay, that is the way we should apply to everybody. First, this is for us. We are going to transform ourselves within, and then let our mind be the teacher for other people. It's not about doing one lecture or another. It's about life influencing other people. It does. You see, I can see that whoever I talk to, even for 5 minutes, it does make a difference, provided they take the point and apply them in their own life. That part I cannot do. They have to do it.
Yes, that's true.
So, thank you, Dr. Rao. We learned a lot in the world where we are living now. A thing that our ancestors always told us, Parupakara idam shariram.
Yes.
We are living with that concept, but it is totally distorted or diverted. So, thank you so much for this enlightenment today. Yeah. So, I hope everyone of us learned a lot today, and we continue to thrive on these learnings and spread the good. And at the same time,
one exercise I will recommend to you all is, don't try to remember all the thoughts, only the insights. Okay, one insight is that we are not permanent as body mind, but we are as being permanent. So try to go and realize that, and then try to understand thoughts are impermanent. Thoughts come and go, so don't get stuck in the thought network. So write down the insights that you have, that you only those kind of try to live it, not even remember, live it. That will make a lot of difference for you. Otherwise, these lectures come and go and there is no change in you. Okay, that's important. And I'm going to announce this 30-day wellness challenge. I would recommend that you all join them, and then there will be a lot more. For each one day, I develop one habit, one simple habit, and then we'll talk around it, and then see the difficulties, and then adopt that. Those 30, you can write them down and then see whether they are doing them every day or not. Every week we recollect, every month, at the end of the month we recollect everything. So that will be very useful for you. Okay. So I will do that. I will announce the time. Most likely right after my morning routine in the morning. That is, morning routine happens 8 o'clock my morning train, 7:30 evening for India. But right after that 1 hour, I will do this briefly, maybe 30 minutes, maybe. And then that way, 30 days are covered in 1 month. And we have done these kind of things for entrepreneurs, other people before. And they were very fruitful for them because people came to look for answers with their problems, and then they were dealt with, and then they took something away from them, and then I don't know whether they are implementing or not. That's when they follow me and then tell me what is going on with them, whether they have any issues, then we can address them. Okay, I think this will be more useful for you. And the same thing with the circles I've created. These are for people. There's one for diabetes. Blood sugars are very high and beyond the numbers what they can do. And then there is one about mind is not being stable, anxious. A lot of people are with that. That circle is about inner calmness. And the other circle is self inquiry as a tool for self realization. That's for people who are spiritually oriented and they are serious about self realization. Okay. And there is another one I tell for inner resilience. This is applicable to everybody. People, the moment life goes certain way, they kind of get destroyed within. There is a way not to be like that, but to be not being, kind of hard, but more like aware and understand the life and respond to it with inner resilience. That inner resilience can be developed and is very useful for entrepreneurs, for the people who are doing their own business, the people who are doing jobs like physicians. So many IT technology people lost all memories. They don't sleep well. They don't do anything. They do a lot of damage to themselves, and then they weep. They're stressed out, burnt out, those kind of things. So this inner resilience is a common program to all people to develop a better body, better mind, better emotions, and also really be in our inner self. Okay, that's inner resilience is very very important to understand. Then modern life with its own problems will not disturb you. Okay, so that's what I live and I try to share, and hopefully that is going to be helpful for you also. I will put these announcements separately in my WhatsApp group. You can see it and then you can join with that link. Okay?
Yes, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chandra.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello? Babu?
Yeah.
No, Anka?
No, I'm saying out.
Sorry?
Okay.